All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call Halayim Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Quitash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. All right, so what I want to get into is some news today, man. All right, so let's get into it, all right? Because right now you have Putin, as it says right here. It says on October 22nd, 2025, Russian President Vladimir Putin directed strategic nuclear forces drills. All right, so right now they're doing nuclear drills, man. ICBM drills. All right, Russia. All right, the Lord is gearing up Russia. He's raising up Russia, man. All right, which he's been doing. You know? But as of right now, they're doing ICBM drills, nuclear missile drills. All right? Russia is, according to prophecy, biblical prophecy, Russia is going to be the main ones to destroy America. All right? Jeremiah, the 50th chapter, when you read it. So, you know, I'm here to let you know what's going on with Russia, what's happening, man. All right? The Lord is gearing things up. All right? The Lord keeps pushing things forward, man. Keeps making tensions rise. You know, things are happening, man. Prophecy is coming out the scriptures like crazy right now, bro. You know, seeing everything that's going on in the world. You know, we are really living in that time, bro, when Yahweh Shai is getting ready to crack that sky, man. Everything's all happening at the same time, man. The Lord gearing up these nations, bringing all these nations together. All right, preparing for World War III. All right, you got all these digital IDs, all right, being made mandatory. Digital IDs is being talked about all the time, and that goes hand in hand, all right? Because the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip, when it's ushered in, all right, the people are going to take it, and the punishment for taking the MOTB, the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip, all right, is to drown in nuclear fire, man, all right? Especially if you're here in America. If you take the mark of the beast, you're going to drown in thermonuclear destruction, man. All right, that's the punishment for taking it. All right. So it says on October 22nd, 2025, all right, Russian President Vladimir Putin directed strategic nuclear forces drills involving practice missile launches, all right? Woo, they're practicing right now, all right? It says which include intercontinental ballistic missiles and long-range cruise missiles, all right? The exercises involved all components of Russia's nuclear triad, land, sea, and air. A Yars ICBM was test-fired from Plesetsk, all right, launch facility in northwestern Russia. And a Sineva ICBM was launched by a submarine in the Barents Sea, all right? Additionally, Tu-95 strategic bombers conducted air-launched cruise missile strikes, all right? The drills were conducted via video conference from the Kremlin, with Putin observing alongside military leadership, including Chief of the General Staff, General Valery Gerasimov, all right, and Defense Minister Andrei Belousov, all right? It says the exercise aimed to practice procedures for authorizing the use of nuclear weapons and tested the readiness of military command structures, all right? The Kremlin emphasizes that the drills had been planned in advance, though they occurred just after U.S. President Donald Trump announced the postponement of a planned summit in Budapest, citing concerns it would be a waste of time, all right? Yeah, because they were supposed to be in talks or whatever. It says right here, yeah, Putin directs drills of Russian nuclear forces as as his summit with Trump is put on hold. Yeah, all right. So he was about to have a summit with Trump, all right, and now he's doing nuclear drills of nuclear forces, man. All right. So but it says right here, a YARS ICBM was test fired from the Plesetsk launch facility in northwestern Russia. So when you look up a YARS ICBM, all right, it says the RS-24 YARS, all right, NATO designated SS-29, is a Russian three-stage solid fuel intercontinental ballistic missile, all right, designed for nuclear deterrence, all right, developed by the Moscow Institute of Thermal Technology. All right, it entered operational service. All right, with the Russian strategic rocket forces in February 2010, and it is intended to replace older systems like the SS-19 Stiletto and the SS-18 Satan. All right, and now they got Satan 2, man. All right, they got Satan 2, which is known as what? The RS-28 Sarmat, which is the most powerful nuclear missile on this earth right now. All right, and it's the spirit of the Lord that Russia has the most powerful nuclear missile on earth. All right, because Russia going to be the main ones to come against America to destroy it, and we going to read it. We going to read it. Jeremiah 50, man. All right, and not only do they have the most powerful nuclear missile, they have the largest nuclear missile nuclear arsenal on earth. Russia. That's the spirit of the Lord. The Lord set it up that way because it's prophecy, man. You know, they have enough nuclear. They have their nuclear arsenal so big they could just hand them out to different countries, bro. You know, and that probably might happen because that's probably going to happen because in prophecy is written, Ezekiel 38, that Russia shall be a guard unto them, right, to protect all these other nations, right? So it says YARS. It says the missile component. The missile is a key component of Russia's nuclear triad, providing both silo-based and road-mobile launch capabilities through its MZKT 79221 transporter erector launcher. All right, the YARS missile has a maximum range of 10,500 to 12,000 kilometers, enabling it to strike targets across North America or Europe. Ooh, all them NATO nations, right? Although NATO and the EU nations, right? It is capable of carrying up to 10 multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles, all right? Each armed with a thermonuclear warhead. Woo. All right? Estimated at 300 kilotons, all right? The missile uses an advanced guidance system combining inertial navigation with GLONASS satellite system, achieving a circular error probable of approximately 250 meters. All right, it features flight maneuverability and employs penetration aids and countermeasures to evade modern missile defense systems. All right, and that's why Israel, all right, when you read Ezekiel 38 chapter, Israel and America is known as the land of unwalled villages, all right, because a land that is unwalled, all right, that doesn't have any walls, is a land without protection. So why is Israel, all right, and America known as the land of unwalled villages? Because there's not any type of missile defense system that's going to protect, all right, from those nuclear missiles from hitting those places, man. All right, Israel and America is going to drown in nuclear fire. All right, according to prophecy, America has to be destroyed and wiped off the face of this earth. All right, by nuclear fire, thermonuclear destruction, and is never going to be built back up again. But Israel going to be built back up again because that's the Holy Land. All right, that land is going to drown and be engulfed in nuclear fire because that land has to be cleansed, all right, before the true Israelites return back into the Holy Land. All right, because when the Israelites return back into the Holy Land, they're going to be in their pure state, their pure immortal bodies. So they're not going to enter a land being pure and immortal, in into a land that's defiled, because that land is greatly defiled. So it has to be cleansed by nuclear destruction. The fire is the best cleansing agent. So imagine how greatly how much of a cleansing agent nuclear fire is, man. All right. So let's go back real quick. All right. It says because it said YARS ICBM, right? And then it also said Geneva ICBM. So you look up Geneva ICBM, just to get a little bit of information on them, right? It says the R-29 RMU-2 Geneva is a Russia three-stage liquid propellant submarine launch ballistic missile, all right, developed by the Makiyev Rocket Design Bureau and manufactured by ZMZ, all right. It is in service from 2007 to present and is used by the Russian Navy. The missile has a mass of 40.3 tons, all right, and the length of 14.8 meters and a diameter of 1.9 meters, all right. It is capable of carrying either 4 re-entry vehicle with a yield of 500 kilotons each or up to 10 re-entry vehicles, all right, with a yield of 100 kilotons each, all right. Though the latter configuration is not commonly used, all right. The Geneva has a maximum operational range of 8,300 kilometers, all right, with a test flight reaching over 11,500 kilometers when carrying no or limited payload. It is guided by astro inertia system, all right, combined with GLONASS, achieving a circular error probable of approximately 250 to 500 meters, all right. The Geneva is considered one of the most advanced missiles, all right, in Russia's arsenal, and was developed to prevent the weakening of Russia's nuclear deterrent, all right. So these two missiles that I just read, all right, this is what they're testing, all right. They're doing drills with these missiles, man. All right. And Russia has the most powerful nuclear missile on Earth, all right, which is known as Satan II, all right. It says, because I already knew, but I asked AI, for this lesson, to bring the information out. It says, I asked AI, does Russia have the most powerful nuclear missile on Earth? It says yes, Russia possesses the most powerful nuclear missile currently in service. All right, the RS-28 Sarmat, also known as Satan II by NATO. All right. It says this super heavy intercontinental ballistic missile is the world's longest range and most powerful extent ICBM system. Woo! All right, officially entering, all right, operational service in September 2023. The Sarmat is a 3-stage liquid-fueled missile capable of carrying up to 15 nuclear warheads. Woo! All right, using multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle technology with a range of up to 18,000 kilometers, enabling it to reach any target on Earth. All right, and this is the type of missile that's going to be let off on America. All right, and any target they want to hit, man. Right, the most powerful nuclear missiles is going to be hit, all right, here in America, man. All right, is the reason why Russia has the largest nuclear arsenal and the most powerful nuclear missiles on Earth, man. To fulfill prophecy, man. All right, it says it is designed to be capable of evading existing and future anti-ballistic missile defenses through its advanced flight characteristics and potential use of hypersonic boost glide vehicles and fractional orbit bombardment system technology. All right, because I did a video, man. I did a video called Make Bright the Arrows. All right, Make Bright the Arrows, all right, which goes into that, man. All right, it can travel anywhere in this world 15 minutes or less. That's how fast it flies, man. All right, that's why it says right here, all right, hypersonic boost glide technology, man. All right, hyper boost glide vehicle and fractional orbital bombardment system technology. Woo. All right, and it says it is designed to be capable of evading existing and future anti-ballistic missile defenses. All right, again, that's why Israel and America is known as the land of unwalled villages, man, in Ezekiel the 38th chapter, because there's nothing that's going to protect the those lands that, from these missiles hitting them, man. All right, you know, and this is all happening now. Them practicing these drills, man. All right, using these missiles, you know. All right, and you got many news outlets covering it. You got Newsweek, all right, AP News, Associated Press, and you got Reuters reporting on it too. All right, U.S. sanctions. All right, Russian oil companies as Moscow holds nuclear drills. All right. So I want to get into the scriptures real quick. Let me exit out of these. Right. Let's get into the scriptures real quick. When you go to Jeremiah 50, right, it talks about America being destroyed. So many chapters talk about America's destruction, but I want to get this one, Jeremiah 50. So it says right here, it says Jeremiah 50:1. It said, as you see the title right here, it says prophecy against Babylon. All right, again, there's a prophecy that's coming against Babylon, which is America. All right, and what is that? Nuclear destruction. All right, the Most High is against. He's not with or for Babylon. He's against Babylon, against America. All right, Jeremiah 50:1. It says the word that the Lord Yahweh spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet. All right, so Jeremiah is the one that prophesied of this, man. All right, Jeremiah 50:2. Declare ye among the nations and publish and set up a standard. And that's what we do. We do publish this, man. All right, by going out to the highways and hedges, because the word publish means to make known. And we do make it known by going out to the highways and hedges, teaching, preaching, and prophesying, all right, the downfall and the destruction of America, man. All right, so we do declare this among the nations, all right? Declare ye among the nations and publish and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. That's right, we don't conceal it. We let y'all know openly, yo, that America's going to be destroyed, bro. All right, we happily preach that America's destruction, that America's going to be destroyed, bro. All right, it says, declare ye among the nations and publish and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. We've been telling y'all this, man, that America's going to be destroyed. It says Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces, her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces. Yeah, so the Lord is coming, is going to destroy all these idols and all these false gods, man. All right, Bel is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces, her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces, man. I can't wait till Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, man. All right, destroys all these false gods. All right, because these people on this earth are going to know that Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, all right, Yahweh is the only one. When all this happens, man, because people are going to call all on their fake gods. The Arabs are going to call upon Allah. The Indians are going to call upon Shiva. They're also going to call upon Buddha. All right, all these fake ass gods, man. The Christians going to call upon Jesus, these fake names. Jehovah, Ahia, Yeshua, all these false names, man, and false gods, man. People are going to call upon, and they ain't going to get no answer. So the Lord is saying, Bel was confounded. Merodach is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded. Her images are broken in pieces. Yeah, all the idols and gods of America that are worshipped here, they're all going to be confounded, man. Broken into pieces, man. You know? This verse is a representation of how the Lord is going to, confound all these fake gods, and it's going to be made known that he's the only power. Yahweh. All right, that's the name of the Most High, Yahweh. That's who is the Most High, Yahweh. All right, Jeremiah 50 and 30, it says, "For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her." Yeah, out of the north there's going to come a nation. There's going to come a nation against America, against Babylon, which is Russia. That's the land that cometh out of the north. All right, Jeremiah 50 and 3, "For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her," against America, which is Russia, all right, "which shall make her land desolate," yeah, a desert, all right, "and none shall dwell therein." Yeah, after America's destruction, all right, nobody's going to dwell here. This place is going to be left without an inhabitant, and it's never going to be inhabited ever again after it is destroyed, right? It says, "They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast." All right. Verse 4, it says, "In those days and in that time," which is now, all right, "save the Lord Yahweh, the children of Israel shall come. They and the children of Judah together," all right, which is northern and southern kingdom, all right, "going and weeping, they shall go and seek the Lord Yahweh their God," and that represents the tabernacle of David coming together back in these last days. All right, Ezekiel 37 chapter. All right, the valley of dry bones waking up. All right, Amos the 9th chapter, the 11th verse. Right. But also when you go down to the 9th verse, it says, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon," which is America, "an assembly of great nations from the north country," which represents, Russia and all of Russia's allies. All right. So it says, "And they shall set themselves in array against her," all right, against Babylon, America. "From thence she shall be taken." Yeah, America is going to be destroyed, right? "Their their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man." The arrows represents the ICBM missiles, all right, which carry multiple nuclear warheads. All right, their arrows, because they look like arrows when they're when they're gliding through the air. Right, "Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain." Yeah, because when those nuclear missiles are shot off, those ICBM missiles are shot off, they're just gonna fly through the air. You can't return a nuclear missile that's just once it's flying, that's it, man. Once that red button is hit, that's it, bro. You can't ain't no turning back, man. All right, it says, "None shall return in vain," and that also goes into 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. All right, so let's grab that as well. All right, this is what's this chapter, what I'm reading right here. All right, Jeremiah 50 is talking about America being destroyed by Russia and Russia's allies. All right, so when you get 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, which is a chapter I constantly go into. I love that chapter, right? Because it's explicit as hell, right? All right, so it says, I'll just get to the point. 2nd Ezra 16 and 7, it says, "May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer." Yeah, because when a man shoots his arrow from the bow, once that arrow's let go and it flies through the air, you can't turn it back. So that's how the missiles is going to be. Just like we're reading in Jeremiah 50 and 9, it says, "Their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man," which the arrows represents the ICBM missiles. All right, "None shall return in vain." All right, woo. All right, so when you read 2nd Ezra 16 chapter, the 7th verse, it says, "May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer. The mighty Lord Yahweh sendeth the plague, and who is he that can drive them away?" You see? It says right here, verse 14, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundations of the earth. Woo, talking about the nuclear destruction. All right, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. Woo! All right, the ICBM missiles, the nuclear destruction. All right, you know. So I just wanted to bring you this news, man. All right. So Putin oversees major Russian nuclear drill. All right, the Lord is gearing things up, man. All right, Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, launched a nuclear exercise on Wednesday during which ICBMs capable of striking the United States, woo, and cruise missiles were launched. All right, the Kremlin announced. Right, the drill came a day after an expected meeting between U.S. President Donald Trump and Putin to discuss ending Russia's war with Ukraine was abruptly called off. All right, the exercises involved Russia's full nuclear triad: land-based, sea-based, and airborne assets. All right, according to the statement reported by Russia's state RIA news agency on Telegram. All right, during the exercise, a Yars intercontinental ballistic missile was launched from the Plesetsk region Cosmodrome. All right, the Tu-95 MS strategic bombers conducted air launch cruise missile strikes the Kremlin. So, yo, come on, man. The Lord said, my word shall not return unto me void. We see in prophecy happening, bro. Prophecy is happening left and right, and only the true prophets and the servants of the Lord can see what's going on in these last days. All right, only the true prophets and the servants of the Lord know what time they're living in. Everybody else is just blind as hell. Zombies have no idea they're living in the last days. That we're in the last days. They just living life like everything is normal, you know. Like life is just going to keep continuing for the next 300, 400 years. You know? People are done up, man. Right? It says a strategic submarine cruiser launched. Bro, we right here, bro. All right? We right here. Right here. All right? A strategic submarine cruiser launched a ballistic missile from the Barents Sea. All right? So what I read over here, all right? It says, the test come amid high tensions between Russia and the West. NATO began military exercises last week. So the Lord is gearing up all these nations, man. And this is what the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord have been. We've been telling you, man. And I say we humbly and hopefully that I am of the elect, man. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Rataza, you know, but we know we preaching the true doctrine. All right, Trump is trying to bring an end to the war in Ukraine. All right, that has devastated large parts of the country. Russia invaded Ukraine February 2022. All right, however, on Tuesday, an expected summit between Trump and Putin to be held in Budapest, Hungary, was called off. All right, so all these nations are gearing up, military exercises, and it says Russia rejects Trump's battle lines. The White House statement came after Russia reiterated its peace terms, including Ukraine giving up the entire Donbas region, Reuters reported, all right, citing 3 unnamed sources, all right. That was a rejection of Trump's statement on Sunday that the current front line should form the basis of a peace settlement to end the war. Speaking to reporters, Trump said that during a meeting on Friday with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, all right, there had been no discussion that Kiev should cede the Donbas. All right, Trump said the war should just stop at the lines where they are, the battle lines. All right, which would mean Russia keeping large parts of Ukraine. All right. All right. So, just to bring you this news to let you know what's happening, what's going on. All right. To keep you in the know so you're not living under a rock. All right. We're watching, man. All right. So, Lil Willin, this lesson was edifying. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazah. This lesson was edifying. All right. Call Haloyam Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Quitash. All right. So on to the next one. Shalom, shalom.